songs came out, it's so nostalgic, and it just, like you said earlier, you remember during the Fab battle,
Yeah.
being in Spa,
Yeah.
like those records just take you to a
Spa, One
place.
Oak, Butter.
One
God,
Oak and
I'm
Butter,
trying,
come
man.
on, man.
Veruca, Sweet 16, man.
Sweet
Like
16,
Sweet
right, yo.
16. We were man. Dog. We were. I was a little club rat when I was 21, 22, in New York City, man. I was trying to go to all the Pangea. I'm just trying to
Oh
think
my
of the
gosh,
spot.
you brought up Pangea.
Yeah, dog. I'm
Dude,
telling you, dog.
Pink Elephant, like
Pink
all those
Elephant,
spots.
dog. Home. Like,
Home,
dog.
Guest
Yeah.
House, like, yo, we did
Yeah.
it, man.
It was that, especially because, again, it's like right before social media, there were so many spots because you could dip in and out. People didn't have to worry about like being pictured. And so you would go, I kid you not, man, it was probably 2007, 2008. I went to Butter, and you remember Butter was super, super small, right? It was at underground. And you would go in there, and we can't forget Serafina. We can't say
True.
Serafina had a great like year. But I went into Butter, and it was like Jay and Beyonce were in there, and they were starting to play a bunch of his albums, and you're watching them just kind of lip sync and vibe, and you're like, yo, this is like being in the 70s and watching John Lennon like sit around and listen to his own music, right?
Yeah.
Like that. It was mind blowing. It was like, it was just special. Like even in that moment, you're like, this doesn't happen often. And it doesn't matter that I played in the NBA and that I've been in other circles and been in other like very exclusive spots. Like this was just a special place and a moment, and being able to understand that, and that's why I respect what you do. Like you said, when you go back and you know that families are listening and your family is listening, and this is what I want to play, because you want to make sure that that there's enough stress out there.
Yes.
That there's enough drama out there, but like, hey, if for this set, if this hour, this 30 minutes, you and your family can vibe out, you took pleasure in that, man. And we all took pleasure in it with you.
I still take pleasure in it. Like yesterday when I was sitting here, I was sitting in this spot right now, and my daughter was hanging out with mom, and I was sitting here by myself, and I was like, man, I didn't want to play music, but I ended up playing for 5 hours, and it was like
Yeah.
three different sets for 5 hours, because I was like, wait, I've celebrated Michael Jackson, I've celebrated Prince, I've celebrated Luther Vandross, I've celebrated all of these people, and
Mm-hmm.
here I am, the day is almost over, and I didn't celebrate Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to. I've always felt like my IG was like a safe place for like music, and
Mm-hmm.
for people to just converse with each other. And there are people that have met each other based on being in our IG lives.
Yeah.
Just being, they never seen each other in person, but it's like you see this name and it's so familiar. For some reason, it feels like you're actually in there with that person, and
Mm-hmm.
you feel so connected to him. So when I was sitting here, I was like, wait, I'm tripping. Like I got to get on and just play. And it was probably the most fun that I'd had like in a while during this quarantine, was because I felt so free to just celebrate the music of people. And I love the music, and it was taking me to a space, and it was, I mean, even when I got on later on, I was just playing music
Yeah.
and bringing people together. And it's really, man, it is the most humbling experience and the most humbling feeling,
Yeah.
because you choose to be in my IG live.
Mm-hmm.
You can be anywhere else that you want to be.
Be anywhere
You
else in
can
the
clean your
world.
house. You can get in your car, take a drive. You choose to bring me into your world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very humbling feeling, man. Like I've never experienced anything like this, even when I was making music as a rap artist.
Yeah.
I've never felt anything like this before, Rich. And it's one of the best feelings of my life.
Yeah, man, it is. And like, your sets and the verses and I know we keep talking about that and just all the music, and it's more of just like the impact. Like there were Zoom calls going around. I was getting Zoom invites, and all of a sudden it would be like 10 families or 10 people like, yo, we're going to watch this one. So then everybody would log on, and it was like, even though we couldn't be there together physically, you know what we were doing? We were all sit and have a glass of wine and have a drink and watch and just listen and reminisce and tell stories. And like, even though it was all virtual, it was like I had a virtual group that was watching a virtual performance,
Sure,
right? But you
sure.
still felt connected. And it was like 10 years from now, 5 years from now, when we're actually able, or a year from now, when we're able to drink and be together, we're still going to talk about these moments as if we were all together, because we were. And
Someone
so,
someone just said it's an unexplainable experience. It really is. Like you
yeah.
can't. There's no there's no way. Like the very first time, like March 21st, when Michelle Obama joined in, I was trying to figure out how to invite people into an IG live. Like no one had really had that type of experience, and it was just like, how do you tell someone that there's a party going on their phone? How do you explain that?
You
Like,
can't, man. You can't. And I feel like this IG Live thing just really popped off in the last little bit, right? It just popped off right in the last, right in time, right on time,
it was so
right?
on time. It's
Yeah.
like we literally have been having parties on our phone. Like, imagine if this would have happened like in 2000, like
No,
pandemic.
no, we would have been,
What would we have done then?
no, and that's where I truly count, I count our blessings, man, because not growing up with a ton, and I think to myself, man, if I wasn't able to go to the park, that's how I ended up in the NBA. I didn't have no money. I didn't have nothing else to do, but the park was open. So that's where my friends went. That's who I met up with. That's where I spent hours and hours a day. And it's like, imagine if the parks were closed. You didn't have Xboxes that you could,
No,
that you could just get on and play with your friends. You didn't have we didn't have cable and 900 channels. You didn't have iPads and downloading movies on Netflix. We had Blockbuster. So like we're blessed to a certain degree that like the people that, to stay home and be able to do this because there's so many ways for us to get together. And that's a true compliment to yourself because when we needed people like yourself, creative people that wanted to bring people together and give them a great space, I'm gonna swear you fucking delivered. You delivered, and I
I
truly,
appreciate you,
truly
Rich.
appreciate that, man. It really helped a lot of people, man, and hopefully it was therapeutic for yourself also.
Oh man, I mean, it started out very self-serving. Like
Hmm.
I will never lie about that.
Don't.
This wasn't about everyone. The
Hmm.
very first day was about me feeling extremely lonely. Like my family were either in Michigan or in New York, and I was the only person in LA. And I started playing music. I started playing music online because I didn't feel connected to people.
Hmm.
But it wasn't until like day three. Day three was when I realized the importance, like the significance of what was happening
Hmm.
and to protect it. So no, I didn't want anyone sponsoring it. To this day, I've still never tagged, hey, I've never pinned, here's my Cash App. I've never, I don't knock anyone that does it.
Yeah.
Like my reason for doing this was different. My
Yeah.
reason for doing this was self-serving initially, but when I saw that it was like having an impact on people,
Hmm.
because I was reading the comments, like I read the comments while I'm
Yeah.
playing, and I'm like, whoa, like this is different. This is different than anything that I've ever done in my life, and just to be like a conduit of like good music, good energy, good vibes during this time of crisis, like the fact that we were able to get through this together
Yeah.
through music and
Yeah.
through these comments, like people have pretended to be in this virtual club for 5 months now.
Yeah.
We've been at this for five
Five
months.
months. 5 months.
And
Yeah.
we've been in this club, and every day I looked at the numbers when I logged off, and it was 65,000 people that were in my IG live
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
night listening to me play Whitney Houston songs,
Yeah.
and it's like it's a
That's
beautiful
a
feeling that
huge. You ever played in front of 65,000 people? I
I
haven't.
played. I think the
You probably
largest
have.
crowd I played for was like Essence Festival, and I don't think it's at the Superdome, but I don't think they like fill it to capacity. So that made I think my largest audience may have been like 40,000 people,
That's
but
that.
never like 65,000 or anything like that.
And just and no different than you and I can like randomly talk about New York and start mentioning like all the clubs and stuff back in '01 through '04. You could sit here like 10 years from now, people are like, yo, do you remember D Nice's set? Do you remember you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like what you have done and what you have created and then just the environment and the space, that's going to last for decades. Those memories of like that. And it was like, it could be kids, like, oh man, I remember, D Nice used to play music and me and my mom would dance in the living room and like crack jokes. And she'd be like, ooh, you don't know nothing about this, talking to little teenagers and stuff, man. So it was awesome, man. And that's honestly how I got on doing these. right? Because I know that there were so many artists, there were so many creative people that needed another platform to promote what they're doing, whether it's something like this, or if you're creating an album, or if you're a comedian that can no longer go on tour and play these clubs for $500 a night. Come on the Sports Center IG. Let's talk about it. Let's crack jokes. Let's find
Yeah.
out what you got going on, what you're going to do next. So this has been therapeutic, man, not only for the people that get to view it, but also the people that get to do it.
Man, it's therapeutic, brother. Like honestly, like I don't know what I would have done had it not been for really for IG Live. I don't
Mhm.
work for Instagram. I don't get a check from them. I don't have anything. There's no endorsements with it. But the fact that we've been able to use this particular app to communicate for months
Yeah.
has been like a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
Like it's a feeling that I can't fully articulate. I just have this level of respect for the platform itself and also the people that have been in here. Like
Mm-hmm.
people, like I said earlier, man, like DJ Clue, our buddy Clue hit me one day and he was like, yo, and he is a DJ, and this was to
DJ.
me the
DJ.
ultimate compliment that I've ever received from a DJ, where it was like, bro, I can actually play music and listen to it with my family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that I've been playing music that he and his wife would cook to. And
Mm-hmm.
this is a fellow DJ.
And like people,
Man,
and if you go back, like people don't like, we appreciate it, but it's like DJ Clue is an icon. Like Clue, like he is an icon, right? Like, and it's like he's been doing it for so many years, help launch careers, help give people some of their greatest hits. You go back and look at some of the artists that you loved, they were in the lab with him, helping to launch careers, helping to get people going. So yeah, that is a true compliment, man, from a peer, and it rightfully so. Um,
how have you been holding up out there with your family?
you know
Everyone's
what,
good?
man? There's been ups and downs, and recently, my pops passed like a few days
Oh
ago.
wow.
Not from COVID, but just from some stuff that, like, he got diagnosed with something right as COVID hit. He got diagnosed with something right as COVID hit, and then my mom was a superhero, and then I would drive out to Phoenix and visit my family, and truth be told, man, everybody's going through something right now, man. So it's like, to get on here and to reminisce, and even music, like, I'm driving back and forth to Phoenix, like evaluating life and everything, and you're listening to music, and you're reminiscing of like high school and college and where I came from and how I got here, and just being respectful and loving, and it's even there, like, I haven't like posted a statement or anything, and I'm saying it to 2,000 people, so obviously it's going to get out, but just just being with my family and just spending time having fun, relaxing with the kids. Like, that's something that, if it wasn't for the quarantine, I would have been working. So I wouldn't have gotten a chance to spend as much time as I did, which I spent months out there in Phoenix, like driving back and forth. So, when I tell you it's therapeutic, like listening to your music, listening to your sets, just, a form of escapism, man, it was next level for a lot of us. And I know I'm not the only person that lost
Yeah.
something, so I don't sit here and get super, selfish and like, oh, look at me, or oh, woe is me, because it's like, I know so many other people are going through it, so that's what makes this, unique and special, and makes me so appreciative of what you were doing.
I will say this, man. I'm like here getting emotional. One, I didn't know your pops passed, so my
No,
condolences to you and your
thank
family.
you.
And I'm getting emotional thinking about how, like, even during what you're experiencing right now, that you still wanted to have this conversation.
Oh, wow.
Like,
It's
which is
what
powerful.
it's what you meant. It's what you meant.
Like that to me is extremely powerful. Clearly you're a family man because as you said, you would drive back and forth to Phoenix to see your parents. Um, it's I know it's a blessing for you to have had like your father in your life.
Mhm.
But me, I didn't have that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, so that's why I take being a dad extremely seriously.
Yeah.
Like
And he was my stepdad. They were married for 33 years. So it
wow,
was like, so to have him come in at age 6 and then have that impact, it's like, wow, like, that's the dude right there. Right. So it's like, my biological father wasn't around. And my mom, married my stepdad. They were together, up until his last breath. But it still is like something that's so special, so unique, and he was my dad, right?
Yeah,
And
he was
so,
your dad.
but he was my dad 100%. He's the guy living in the big house. He's the guy driving the nice car. Like, that's the guy. But yeah, it does. Like, it gives you an opportunity to be better than the generation before, right? Right. But it's weird because it's like I consider him my dad, so that I can't be better than him. He was the greatest man I ever met to this day in my life. Facts. Like not even like everyone is like, how we always say, we're gonna fall short of the Jesus Christ, but we still want to aim to be that man. I'm gonna fall short of anything that man ever, did. So it's like for me, it takes a special man to take another man's children and make them his own and treat them and love them and chastise them and spank them and whoop them and make sure that they are, strong and honest people. And he was all time. So actually the first statement I've ever made publicly is about it is right here in this moment,
Wow.
just being honest to you. But that's why I say I just want to make sure you understand when I tell you how much I truly appreciate what you're doing and how you've helped people over this time. It's authentic and real.
It's first of all, that is amazing that it's the ultimate compliment for you to say that. Like
Mhm.
I Chantre will tell you, like I couldn't wait for this conversation. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna miss it at all. I'm still packing. I'm moving from my downtown place to where I am now, and I woke up this morning. I thought about it. I was like, all right, I'm talking to Rich. All right, I'm gonna run and pack up some personal possessions
Yeah.
and then hurry up and get back here so I can have this chat. And it's one that I really look forward to. I don't know why I felt kind of drawn to your energy.
Hmm.
It could possibly be because we are both, we're doing our other career now.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
basketball is your passion. That's what you did.
It's who
You
I
know,
am. Yeah.
that's who you are as a rap artist. That's who I was. You know what I mean? And like stepping into this DJ world has been it's actually, you know what, man? I think I put too much like weight on it, thinking that people were going to be extremely judgmental of me just being a DJ and not rapping because I
Yeah.
started in the business as a rap artist.
Yeah.
So it's like almost like one day Fabulous becoming a DJ, you'd be like, "What's Fab doing?" I just
No,
kept
you
thinking
love
that,
music. You love music. You love
yeah,
music, and whatever that outlet is, right? That's all that matters,
that's all that
right?
matters.
It's all that matters. It's like I love basketball. That was my passion. And when I first got on here and I started doing this months ago, and we started doing these, they were like, "Oh, we're trying to get athletes." I'm like, "Yo, I want to talk to everybody. I want
Yes,
to talk to yo, we get enough athletes. I talk to enough athletes. I know that story. I can do that. But if we can talk to, different artists from all over the world with different, we've had people on here that were, in Hamilton. We've had activists. We've had, musicians. We've had so many different people, comedians, on here from all different genres. And for me, that's what I wanted when I wanted to start interviewing people. And I wanted, yes, basketball is my way in to being an analyst and to a host and all that. But ultimately, my goals are to be able to sit down and talk intelligently to anybody from
yes,
any genre, from any
yes, yes.
background. And so that makes me super appreciative that someone like you, that's not, the small forward for this or the athlete from this, like, we can still sit down and connect and vibe and have this conversation. And it's not a former basketball player and a former rapper. That's not what this conversation
No,
is, right? And that's what
no.
makes this special and why I'm so appreciative that you take time out of your day to chop it up with me and to talk.
I'm looking forward to having this conversation in person. I'm glad
Yeah.
that we are able to share this with, over 2,000 people popping in and out,
Hmm.
because I think it's an important conversation to have. Just as two black men, from different professions, different backgrounds, different experiences, that we can get here and share this with people. There are two people in particular that are in this IG right now. There's my buddy DJ Clark Kent. So I
Hmm.
know you know who Clark Kent
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
the legendary Clark Kent.
Yeah.
None of this this version of what it became, Club Quarantine,
Hmm.
would not have been possible without the guidance that I had from DJ Clark King.
Yeah.
He didn't know I was going to say this, but I'm going to say it. I've talked about it in different conversations, different interviews, but I just want to know. I want people to know the significance of like having a friend like that.
Hmm.
Clark Kent never DJed while I was DJing online. Like he never jumped online to DJ whenever I was playing.
Hmm.
Like Clark would literally hit me like, "Yo, you plan on going on?
Uh,
All right, I'm gonna be this to support you, to support the movement, to
hmm.
support what you're building." That is a brother. You
Yeah.
know, it's not about being competitive. This is a brother saying like, no, I see what you're doing, and I want to support you. I want this to grow even bigger for you because this is going to be bigger for all of us.
Hmm.
I love Clark Kent for that.
Yes.
You know, and Clark Kent is also the first person that told me when I felt that this was turning into something special. So when that there was that time when I said it was very self-serving,
Yeah.
and then the moment where it switched to where it was like, no, this feels good.
Hmm.
It was the conversation that I was having with Clark Kent.
Hmm.
Clark Kent, I called him and I was trying to explain it to him like, yo, bro, like I don't know what this is, but it just feels good.
Hmm.
And he said, you should actually DJ now because I wasn't DJing in the beginning.
Okay.
I had my phone, my iPhone
Yeah.
next to, I had this same exact phone right here
Yeah.
next to my computer
Yeah.
playing music and just holding it and playing music into it and having a conversation. And I would tell a story about a song and I would play music. And Clark Kent said, you should actually DJ now because it is something. You should actually
Inspiration.
DJ.
Inspiration, man.
And changed my whole life.
Yeah.
You know, changed my whole life. And there's
Yeah.
another buddy in here, my buddy Tony Rasan. I've known him since I was like 16 years old, 15 years old. And, he used to be we had a management company together. He co-managed me early on. And these are men that helped guide my entire life, not just my career, but my life, that helped shape my life on how to be a parent, on how to be a supportive partner, on
Yeah.
how to DJ. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's
it's
but
just beautiful, man.
the lessons from this, man, and everyone that's in here is like surround yourself with people, even if it's one person, if it's two people. Not only surround yourself. So often people say surround your people with people with positive energy and that are supportive. But the only way to truly do that is to also be that person for other people, right? Be
Yes.
that person that's supportive and like loving and like, no matter what, they can do that. Like build them up. I stand by this. And this is how this whole thing got started. Chene, who is another amazing analyst, another amazing WNBA player, she calls me up and she's like, Richard, do you want to come on? And I was like, yeah, I'll come on with you. And Chop, this was at the beginning of quarantine. So we get on. Janae, I love you. She gets on, and we get on. We get on, we chop it up. So as soon as I get off, I go to our producer, Kayla, and I'm like, Kayla, I can do this. I got for 24 hours or whatever. But I was like, if she's going to do it, then I don't want it. And they were like, no, she can do that one. You can do this one. And I was like, bet. And then it was like started to get going. And the next thing I know, I've done, 50 to 100 of these interviews with different people and different artists and different people on backgrounds. And then that was what that was. And think about this, how I've been so blessed and so fortunate. It went from that, talking about quarantine to all of a sudden the movement that we're in the middle of right now, and the Black Lives Matter movement. So then all of a sudden it was like I started a platform with one, and then it gave me an opportunity to help another cause and another movement, man. So being around people, supporting people. I got on to support her and
Yes.
found a cause for myself and found an opportunity, but that would have never happened without trying to support her and just being like, yeah, you want me to come on? I'm on, sister, whatever you need. And then obviously it turned into this. So support people that support you, inspiration can come from supporting other people. That's the
Sure.
thing that people really, really know, that's so important in everything that's going on. Support people that support you, and positive things can happen.
It's so crazy that we're dealing with like a pandemic and we're dealing with like social injustice and Black Lives Matter movement and George Floyd and like Breonna, like all of these things happen
Yeah.
during a time where we can still share the information. Like we don't have to sit back and wait for ABC News to tell it.
Yeah.
Like no, we can use our devices to get stories out here. And it's been so much during a negative time. There's been so much positive that that came from it. Like I feel so inspired by like the next generation.
Yeah.
Like I feel it's so inspired by them. Like
They have
honestly,
a responsibility that they don't even know. They're not fully aware of yet. It's like we started this and like Instagram didn't come around. I just turned 40 this year also. That didn't come around till, 10 years ago, 10 plus years ago. The generation that's growing up with this, you have no excuse to not be
sure,
educated. You have no excuse to not use a platform. People are building their platform casually in high school.
sure.
They're not famous yet. They're just, my friends in my high school, my local this, my local that. And next thing you know, they find their cause and their movement and their moment, and then they can able to take it from there. And so they have a responsibility that I don't even think they're fully aware of. They're just kind of in the moment. But guys like you, so many people in this movement and cause have been like giving them the blueprint. Shout out to John Lewis, who gave us the
Oh man,
blueprint,
shout out
right?
to John Lewis, man.
Shout out to get in that good type of trouble, man. That good trouble.
Yes, shout out to John Lewis.
Yeah, shout out. But he gave
Were
us a
you able to
blueprint.
meet him? Did you meet
No,
him?
I never had the
Man,
opportunity,
I
man.
was.
And those are things like, I had the chance to meet Barack. I've had the chance to meet some very, very powerful people, in the movement, but, not recently. And so, it's just been a special time, man. And I look forward to see what the next generation is going to do. And,
I was able to meet John Lewis at an event I was being honored at. So I think that's what makes this moment of meeting him even more special to me because John Lewis went out of his way to meet me. I was being honored during the Congressional Black Caucus,
mhm.
and it was a Southern company honoring me, a night of excellence. And I was being honored with Grant Hill's father. He was honored that night as well, and John Lewis, man, rest in peace, man. They kept telling me John Lewis really wants to meet you,
That's yeah, it's
and
trippy.
and I was just tripping, like, and he came over and we shook hands and we hugged and we took selfies together, and it was like, man, John Lewis knows who I am. Like,
You never stop being. People don't understand. It doesn't matter your level, your status,
no,
your success. You're always fans of people, right?
yeah,
Like I've been starstruck in front of many of people. Like I've literally texted my friends, like, "Yo, I just saw so and so," and they knew how big of a fan I was. Whether it was somebody like Will Smith or Lenny Kravitz or or whoever it is, and you're just like, "Yo, I'm just such a big fan of their vibe, their energy." So did you go say something? I was like, "Oh no, I ain't had no." There was like, "Wait, really?" And I was like, "No, I just want to just." I saw him. That was enough for me, right? And
listen,
so,
if
yeah.
I'm a fan, I'm gonna say it, man. I'm not even gonna wait until like, oh man, this person is no longer here. I should have told them. Like, no, if I'm a fan, I'm a fan. I mean, I've had Zoom calls recently with some icons, which
Yeah,
was just like still me sitting there like,
yeah,
yo, am I really talking to this person?
yeah.
You brought up Lenny Kravitz, so just imagine like being on the call, and it's just like the most random people in Lenny
Yeah.
Kravitz on a Zoom call, and he happens to be one of them. Even
The,
though
the,
I've met Lenny multiple times throughout my entire career, that was just different. Like on like this private Zoom call and just like looking like
like,
this Lenny Kravitz dear, like
dog, and it's like for me, like for a guy like me, like Lenny, what I love about him is he is so unapologetic about who he is, and he's had so much success. I've seen him in concert 10 times, and I'm talking about front row, like like a 19-year-old fangirl, right? Singing every song. I saw him open up for U2. I actually watched that, then watched the first half of U2 and then dipped, right? Then dipped. No disrespect to U2, but
No
I was there.
disrespect.
I was no disrespect. I was there to watch Lenny. I've seen him in small venues, big venues, and it's just like, yo, I just love his music. I like, I love his artistry. I love like his whole presentation. I just love,
Yeah.
the dude is just next level. And so it's like, and I remember I saw him one time and I just saw him and I was just like, no, I'm not like, I want to say hello. And, but again, like these are people that you just like try and like, you just keep them there. But that's what I'm saying is like, you're always fans of somebody, and to have somebody like know your name and like to be like, oh, hey, how are you doing? It's just like, nah, I'm gonna keep that, man. But
So
that's the
I'm
interview.
a fan. There's another guy who I'm actually a fan of, and he's in here right now, right? And it's Spice Adams.
Don't say Spice Adams, bald ass. Don't.
I,
Spice, I
I,
love you.
I
Spice on.
started out as just a fan of Spice, and
Yeah.
like when this thing started happening for me, Spice hit me up on the DM, and he
Mhm.
was like, "Yo, you're on to something,"
Yeah.
And Spice called the entire thing. He was like, "It's gonna play out like this, blah 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 blah," and that dude has been supporting me from day one of this quarantine. Like we were following each other before that, but
Yeah.
like the quarantine, that's what I said. Like there is something beautiful and magical that came out of this. So
Yeah.
many beautiful relationships. Like neither one of us needed any extra friends. Like
Yeah.
I don't really need Spice. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have
Yeah.
anything in common. Like this
Yeah.
dude is terrible looking. He can't dance. We don't have anything in common. You know what I mean? Like
It's like who is he? What is
is
he?
this
What
dude,
like I
man?
know what I'm bringing to
He's
the table. What are you
annoying. Like
bringing to the table? What are you
just,
bringing to the table, Spice?
keeps pulling out old clothes. Like who still has like an old outfit like Spice?
Who steps out of the car and stretches their left leg
You
for
know what I mean?
6 seconds before they take a step out? Spice Adams does.
Yo, it's like mad funny, man. But no, I love that dude because it's like this during this time, it showed me that it's never too late to meet great friends, man, and
Mm-hmm.
people that you truly admire.
Yeah.
Like it's never too late to allow new people with good energy in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I have so much love and respect for that guy. And like I said, like even like meeting you this way, being able to talk to you, I'm talking to you like we've had multiple conversations together.
Never
You
met,
know what I
talked
mean? Like
really in our lives.
somebody said his Stacey Adams socks though. Yeah. Spice, we love you, man. We
Love you,
love you,
brother. Love
Spice.
you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep doing.
But
Hey, listen, if J. Cole can make it, man, you can too, dog.
my God, look at Spice is right. He's like he's writing something down. Like
He's right.
Spice is awesome, man. Like, and
Yeah.
I've met so many. Not only have I met incredible people, but I feel like a stronger bond with people that I already knew,
Yeah.
based on like our interaction via social media. Like, we're not at a club, really. We're not yelling at each other. Like, yo, Rich, send me
Yeah.
that bottle. Like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
we're having like these conversations, and like
Yeah.
it's just beautiful to see.
And what's great and it's crazy is like it, if we were at a dinner table, if we were at this, like we wouldn't be able to sit down and vibe out for 45 minutes just about life and about impacts and about, causes and about interactions with people. Like, so that's why I've really loved this platform. And that's why, when I got a chance to like see and talk to, people like yourself, and it's like, maybe there's a corner of the Sports Center community that don't know what you're doing. Like, let me introduce them because it's amazing and it's a special, it's a special thing. And so, that's where I've been really fortunate. Not that I don't have a large platform. I didn't get on social media to just like 2 years ago, but I know that, Sports Center or ESPN does. And so like, if I can take their 16 million followers and 18 million and then introduce them to something that I believe is a beautiful, awesome cause, or to an intelligent, passionate person, then I think I'm doing, then I feel like I'm contributing. And that feels good, man, to be able to help people and introduce them to, what you got going on.
There is a sense of pride that I hope that people from ESPN feel with what happened to me, and in particular, Chantre, right? Because
Oh,
I
here we
played,
Chantre. Oh, here we
yeah,
go. That's the sister.
I played ESPN Super Bowl parties for years.
Hmm.
Like I played those parties, man, from like the very first one that they did, and like I believe it was in like Jacksonville, Florida. It was like me and like Bismarcky, and I don't remember which
Yeah.
performer, but like I've been involved like planning these ESPN events for so many years, like opened up for Drake or for Kid Rock, like all these people throughout the years, and so when this happened, like this whole thing of like blowing up to where like I became somewhat of a household name because of DJing, there are people that helped me get there, along the way. And
Hmm.
ESPN, and obviously I'm not being paid by ESPN.
No, no, no.
I'm
I'm
just
with you.
truly just saying this. Like the ESPN family and Chantre were part of the reason that the story was so good,
Hmm.
and part of the reason why people felt comfortable hiring me. It
Yeah.
was because I played ESPN. It was because I DJ for Barack. Like I was
Yeah.
saying this to someone recently. I was like, look, this what happened couldn't have happened to anyone else
Hmm.
because this was 30 something years of like doing right by people
Hmm.
and then people coming to support me when I was doing something.
Yeah.
Like it was 35 years of that, of
Yeah.
like doing that.
Yeah.
And, so being here on this platform and being exposed to your followers and the ESPN followers and the Sports Center followers is important to me because it's part of what makes the story great is that the ESPN family helped me get to this point.
Oh yeah. Well, and she's an individual. You know, people don't understand. ESPN, you might see 75 people all the time on ESPN, whether it's analysts or TV, and we're not even talking about the athletes. There are hundreds of thousands of people that work for Disney, ESPN, and Chantre is one of the people that like I told her my goals, I told her my dreams, I told her like I really like sports, but I like interviewing, I like hosting, I like doing other things like. I believe I can talk sports till I'm blue in the face till the day I die. Like that it's just second nature. But ultimately what my passion is, what I want to goal, how I want to improve and things that I want to do. And she was like, I got you. And all of a sudden she was like, hey, you're going to MC this event at sports. And I was like, I've never like MC'd a crowd. And she's like, well, is this what you want to do? And I was like, yeah. She's like, well, these are your opportunities. It's within this space to go do
That
that.
sounds
And
like
so
Trey.
yeah, she was just like, you're going to be fine. I was like, I've never done this before. And she was like, and all of a sudden I'm on a mic, I'm introducing 2 Chainz, I'm hyping up the crowd. I'm asking questions. I'm, doing all this stuff up on a stage, in New York. And you're just sitting here like, I didn't, but now all of a sudden it's like, yo, I feel more comfortable. And if it wasn't for her thinking of me, maybe I was fourth or fifth down the line, but I was the first one to say yes. But that's, but it was like, just that. But again, it was just like her reaching out and saying, hey, this is what you want to do. Here's an opportunity. Do you want to do it? I'm like, yeah, I'm in it. And so, you gotta, like I said, surround yourself with people. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to tell people your dreams and your passions and your goals because you never know when that opportunity comes across someone's desk and they're like, well, this is what they want to do. If they really want to do it, here's the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be prepared for it when that opportunity comes. Like
Yeah.
I was prepared for this. I was prepared for it. Like I wasn't a DJ that did a lot of talking on the mic. Like that wasn't my thing. I
Yeah.
really just wanted to play music, and that was another thing that came out of this. Like I feel like I found my voice again. Like
Mm.
I didn't want to talk on the mic. I didn't want to yell at anyone. I was telling someone a story earlier today. Matter of fact, I was telling my attorney this today, and it was I used to do things like, okay, I had a custom made laptop with my name on it. I did all of these things with my name on it because I wanted people to know who I am. And for the very first time, I felt like I don't even have to say my name like that anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have to do that. Like
Yeah.
I did the work. I did the work, and I don't have to just push that in your face anymore. It
Yeah.
can be subtle. It can just be like, oh, I'm just here. I'm playing music. Oh, you look up. Oh, it's D Nice. Like, and people will
Yeah.
feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Like people will feel happy. So I can't wait to share this experience with people in real life.
Hmm.
Like to be able to play music in real life for people.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that's happening in my life right now that's important. We've been working on this documentary now on not on club quarantine. It's not even about that. It's about human connectivity and
Hmm.
how we it's all changed now
Hmm.
because of this pandemic. Like this COVID-19 forced us to sit down and figure out ways to communicate with people other than what we've ever been used to,
Hmm.
like, and we're working on this project that I'm really excited about. Social distancing, of course, but like, yeah, we're gonna hit different cities and like and talk to people
Hmm.
about their experiences with the music with during this time because the
Yeah.
music, Rich, the music saved lives, bro. Like it really saved lives. Like this is not. There's no ego. There's none of that. There's none of that coming from me.
Yeah.
I just know that the music saved lives,
It's a
and
fact. It's
I,
a,
I
it's it's
received
it's 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 a fact.
man, I received an email. I get emails all the time. Like they're like over like 30,000 emails on like my info site, and I just randomly selected one the other day, and it was from a nurse, and I could see from that email trail that she'd sent me multiple emails, but I didn't see any of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's like I can't read 20, 30,000 emails, like, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I opened that one, and she had written me multiple messages asking me to shout out a woman who was in the hospital with her that she was taking care of. And she said that I was reading it, and she said that her patient, this particular woman, had every single day that I was on, she listened to Club Quarantine
Hmm.
and listened to me play music. And all she wanted me to do was to shout out this woman.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, I mean, unfortunately she passed away, but that's what made her happy was to
Mm.
listen to the music that I played.
Yeah.
And that level of responsibility is extremely important to me.
Yeah.
It's why when I was sitting here, I could have read a book, I could have started unpacking more things, I could have gone to the apartment to pack, but no, I decided to get on to play music because
Yeah.
I know music saves lives, bro.
There's somebody out there that's waiting for it. There's somebody
That's
out
waiting
there
to hear
that's
music.
waiting. It's like MJ. MJ, like, why do you show up every day? Why do you? Because he goes, I know there's somebody out there that has never seen me play before, that has seen me play for the first time. And he knew it's okay to be self-aware, like to understand like what impact you have on other people. That's not being narcissistic. That's not being conceited. That's just being self-aware. Now, what you do with that self-awareness
Mm.
is what can lead to positivity. But it's not a that's that people are being real and people are being happy. We could have this conversation for 2 more hours, you and I.
Yeah,
I have to run. I have to get off, and it's killing me. It's killing me. I just want to let you know, everybody, if you want to know how authentic and real this conversation is, when I post this up, most of the conversations I've done are 10 minutes, 15 minutes, max 20. I've never sat and talked to somebody and been so engaged for an hour. So thank you for taking
wow,
the time and listening to me and just kind of, vent and talk and show you appreciation. Thank you for taking the time to come on here. Keep doing everything that you're doing. Anytime you want to talk about anything, support any project that you have going on, any future idea that you have going on. If you need me personally, or if you need this platform, I'm here for you. This Sports Center family's here for you, and just let me know.
I appreciate you, bro. And
All right.
once again, so much love to your family. Be
Thank you.
strong.
Yeah.
And I look forward to having this conversation again here with you on this platform and actually in person. I feel
Yeah.
like we would definitely get along,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, man.
We would become
I
brothers,
can't
man.
wait.
Yeah, likewise, man. Enjoy your day, bro.
God bless, man.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Peace.